Okay. Hey, crafters, crocheters, knitters, and yarn enthusiasts. My name is Jenny. Welcome to Granny Square Peg. This is a channel where I am going through a bit of a process and a bit of a journey where I'm trying to take care of the stuff that accumulates with being a crafter. Okay. I had what I felt to be a massive yarn pile that was taking over my whole house. Not only was it sitting in my living room, sitting in my dining room, sitting in my bedroom, sitting in my kids' rooms, I had to do something about it. So I decided to start purging it, right? Which is not easy. Not when you suffer from depression and anxiety, and shopping for yarn is a comfort for you. Being surrounded by yarn is a comfort for you. You have a little bit of a pack rat tendency and a little total line of being a hoarder. I had too much yarn, and you laugh and you say there is no such thing as too much yarn. Yeah, just sometimes there is. Having yarn is not a bad thing. Having too much yarn can be a bad thing. So I started going through a process of purging and decluttering and trying to figure out what was important to me. So I started a YouTube channel so I can talk to people and have something like a confessional and some help and some encouragement along the way. So I also decided while I was going to chronicle my issues and my process, I did a great yarn purge of 2020. What the heck did I call it? The Great Yarn Purge of 2023? I think it was just back in January. It was successful. I got rid of a lot of yarn. Old yarn that I inherited from my mom or my grandmom or from flea markets or yard sales. The stuff that was scratchy, but you couldn't let it go. The little itty bitty bits of yarn that were just not long enough or big enough to do anything with. Colors that I'm not happy with, that I'm not normally drawn to. Darker reds, darker blues. I can use them on occasion, but they don't make me happy. So I was able to purge a lot of stuff. And I was able to put a shelf in my corner to hold whatever I wanted to keep, right? And then there's also my big, massive project pile, because I'm a blanket maker. I just make blanket after blanket after blanket and throw it in the pile. I don't have anybody to give them to. All of my kids have blankets. My husband and I have blankets. Everybody in my family has blankets, and then my family was getting smaller and smaller and not necessarily bigger and bigger. And you can't always give away all of your stuff because you do spend money on the supplies, like the yarn, and you spend time on it. So you can't always give it all away. So I thought, all right, well, let's open an Etsy shop. Well, I did. I opened my Etsy shop like 10 years ago, and I've sold like 2 things because I just don't work at it. And I have such a hard time listing my blankets and letting them go. I get very attached to them. So this is me working through my attachment to all of the blankets in my project pile. And I'm also sharing my patterns as I go along. Now, mind you, I'm not a designer, and I'm not a professional pattern writer, okay? I get things as wrong as anybody else, and sometimes I get things right, and when I do get them right, woo, yay, that's great, and I love to share it with people. But you know what I also do? I share it with you when I get it wrong. My stitch counts can be off. My starting chain number can be wrong. Maybe I'm using a hook size that's bigger than what you normally do, so my project comes out a little bigger. I'm not a professional here. I started crocheting when I was 9, all right, with my grandma giving me lessons. And my mom crochets, and my mom's sister, which is my Aunt Becky. And if you're watching, hi! All the women in my family, my mom's side, and my grandmom and all of her sisters, always crafters, always with the sewing and the quilting and the knitting and the crocheting. So crocheting is my thing. It's what I love to do. I had quite a passion for it, and I still do today, but I did go through a bit of a slump, since I was 9 years old. I have had a slump or two with crocheting. I found my strong suit, and it's making blankets. You know how some people will be like, I can't make a big blanket, I get bored? I don't. I like the repetitiveness of making a big blanket, just back and forth and back and forth. It's nice and calming for me. The one thing I do get bored with is the same color. So I like things with lots of colors and a lot of color changes. I get so bored working with one color. I really do. I try really hard, but I get bored. So I had a video go up on Sunday and I showed you my spider stitch blanket. It was the first one I had made, and it's color blocks of white, pink, white, darker pink, white, back to the lighter pink, and white again. I love that blanket. It is so soft, and partly because of the yarn that I used, and some of the yarn's been discontinued. There was one thing I could do in this life is go talk to those yarn companies and say, stop making awesome yarns and then discontinuing them. It's not fair to us, right? So I had, so the pink and white one, this orange and creamy white, multicolored one, and then the one that is red, orange, green. It looks like a campfire to me. So we're going to be doing this one today. This one is nice and small. See that? It's baby size. Perfect for the crib, the stroller, the playpen, if playpens are still a thing. What do they call them now? Pack and plays. Yeah, I know. Pack and plays. It's a long-winded way of saying I'm enjoying doing crochet videos and doing yarn videos and blanket videos. You guys are awesome down in the comment section. You truly are. And I want to say thank you to all of my new subscribers just in the last 3 days alone at 32. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and welcome to Granny Square Peg. So this blanket I made in August of 2017. It is 33 inches wide by 34 inches tall, almost perfectly square. All right, I did 19 rows of the cream color, 18 rows of the orange, 19 of the cream, 18 of the orange, and 19 of the cream. Okay, so total yarn, I used 16 ounces of yarn. I cannot tell you the company for the orange one, but the cream colored, it should be Loops and Threads from Michaels, and it should be their color that they call Aran, which to me is a very creamy white. It's got some yellow undertones to it, and I love it. But the orange, ladies, I went through every bin that I have left in my house, and I'm keeping a bin off to the side where I'm throwing all of my random notes and that I come across so I can match up the notes with the blankets. I cannot find notes on this one. I can't find the old yarn labels on it. So the orange color, I have no idea what it is, okay? But it is an awesome shade. I love that. So I put it on my, I have a postal scale. Okay, so it's 16 ounces of yarn. That's the best I can do for you. The blanket is 93 rows in total, okay, and hook size. All right, so the yarn is a number 4 medium worsted weight, okay, 100% acrylic. And the hook size, I went big with this one. I can tell with my stitches. I went either with an I, J, or a K. I'm not sure. So, 5.5 millimeters up to 6 millimeters, okay? So here's the blanket. Should I, you know what, I'll move it down and we'll take a closer look at it. With this one, I know I typed out the pattern with Sunday's video for the pink and white one. This one is 90 for the chain, okay? I did not do one row of single crochet. The first row, I went straight into the pattern. And my last row is not a single crochet. I just ended it with the spider stitch. But let me move you and we'll take a closer look at it, okay? How's that? Is that too close? No, I think that's fine. All right, so you know that the spider stitch is, let's see, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in the same space or in the same stitch. When you're doing it in the chain or when you're doing it in the next row, you're using a chain 1 space. All right, so you see here, this is my initial starting chain, and see I work the spider stitch right into the chain, and there's a skipping 1 in the middle there. I don't like how loose this is. I like to do the chain and then come back with a row of plain old single crochet. Then row 2 would start the pattern for me. So I wasn't completely happy with the way this turned out, which is why I rewrote the pattern to have row 1 as single crochets. So here's, what did I say? 19 rows of this creamy white, 18 rows of this orange. I'm thinking this orange might be from Joann's. Joann's had a line of yarn called Pearl Essence and then just Sincere, and they've discontinued them. I'm wondering if that's what this is from, because that's kind of what it feels like. All right, and then my next block of creamy white is 19 rows. Next one of orange is 18 rows. Look at that texture. Oh, that's awesome. And then the last color block is 19 rows. And see, for the last row, I did not come back through and do single crochet in each single crochet while skipping the chain 1. So it's kind of got this bumpy texture on the edge. I mean, I'm okay with that. I mean, the first row with the chain I'm not happy with, but the last row I'm okay with, because I do kind of like that bumpy texture. And I have no idea what I was doing on the ends here. This is all hobbled together. I have no idea what I was doing on those ends. I was just probably making it up as I was going along. And there we go. Right? That's so pretty. So remember, 33 and a half inches wide and 34 inches tall. It's almost square. So makes for a nice little cute baby blanket. Lots of movement in this one since I used such a big hook. It's got a lot of drape to it, a lot of movement. And with that texture, I think babies will really, really like that. So if all goes according to plan, I should have this one listed in my Etsy shop. And I say that because I do photos on my bed, but the sunlight does not always cooperate. And you'd be like, what's your Etsy shop? Put the link. Yeah, I'm really bad with putting links sometimes. So it's just Granny Square Peg at Etsy, okay? So let's do an update on other projects that are in the works, because even though I'm working through my project pile to get rid of all the blankets that I've made since 2012, that's how old my project pile is. The oldest project was from 2012, and I've already done a video on that. It's called my Patchwork Squares blanket. You'll find it in my playlist somewhere. And then I did videos on Karen cakes. Oh, those are awesome. So I'm actually still working on projects while going through my project pile. So I'm still adding more blankets to my pile. All right, so recently I just did what I called the Sweater Vibes blanket. Y'all remember this one? It's made with Bernat denim style, and it is a cotton acrylic blend, acrylic cotton blend. Because I think it's more acrylic than it is cotton. I think it was 60 or 70% acrylic, which would make it 40 or 30% cotton. I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head. With this this off-white, and then I mixed it with Red Heart with Love in this pewter gray. And it really, this blanket, just, it reminds me of a sweater. So I had a lot of fun making this one. It's just single crochets. That's all. Then I wanted to make another one, but I wanted to go in a completely different colorway. So I went completely different than Sweater Vibes. Okay? But you got to bear with me here for a second, because Arlo, my kitty cat, got into the yarn, and it is a tangled mess. Okay. Sneak peek. Yep. Oh, there's my hook. See what he did? Life with cats. Okay. All right. So y'all know what this is, right? Red Heart Super Saver, and it's their stripes, and this one's called Retro. That's the name of the color, Retro Stripes. This is what Arlo, the pretty kitty who gets away with it because he is so darn cute, has done to the yarn. and I've been too frustrated to do anything about it. So this is the same pattern as my Sweater Vibes blanket, okay? Same pattern, which is just, I don't remember what my starting chain was because I don't have my notes for this one sitting here with me. And then it's just row after row after row of single crochets. And this retro stripe color, it works up really well in the single crochet. I'm getting about 2 rows, 2.5 rows out of each color change. So I stopped at a random point. I want to say about 20 rows in. (22, 23 rows in, okay? And then I did 2 rows of white, and it's just your basic standard white. I'm just using whatever's in my yarn stash. Bernat Super Value, because I think the white works really well with this pastel neon retro stripe color. And then when I was done with the 2 rows of the white, I started back with the retro stripe. Okay, so I'm in the process of doing the next color block, and then this happened. This was about 2 weeks ago, and I just have not. Maybe I should go ask my husband. He loves to untangle yarn for me. Such a good guy that he is. He's more patient with it than I am. I'm like pulling at it, be like, "Rrr." But he's a lot more patient at it. I mean, I can do it when I have to, but so I'm using the Red Heart. I do have a label for it. Hold on. Red Heart Super Saver Stripes in the retro stripe color. Yes. Okay. You know, for a while there, this stuff was really hard to get because everybody, as soon as it hits the shelves, it gets sold. So I had 2 skeins of it here at home, and 1 skein? 2. And that's what I'm using, okay? Yes, I had 2. This is the second one. So I had to go out to the store and buy some more. I tried to color match it because sometimes the colors come out a little darker, a little lighter. But this is my current project. As soon as I get that big, giant knot undone, I sit at night and just work on some rows of single crochet. But it's made same thing as my Sweater Vibes blanket, okay? That is my current project. Oh, well, I have 2 current projects. Because I liked the spider stitch so much, like 4 blankets wasn't enough. A couple days ago, I decided to make another spider stitch blanket. Okay? I am still using yarn from my yarn stash. I know I went out and bought some of the Red Heart Super Saver in the retro stripe. I know, but I only bought 2 skeins of it. That's all I do. That's all I bought when I was in Joann's that day. I was so proud of myself. I went in and I got exactly what I needed, and it came out of the store, right? So I am using my yarn stash. I had some Red Heart Super Saver in soft white. So I started with the spider stitch. My initial starting chain was 120. I went a little smaller this time instead of 150. And then this green color is from Bernat Super Value, and it's called Soft Fern, but they don't make this color anymore. And then when I got bored of working on the green, I went back to Red Heart Super Saver in the soft white. And then when that ran out, I finished up with the green. So you see how my green color block, this one is really big, and this one's a little smaller. So I still have more Red Heart Super Saver in the soft white. So I started my next color block of soft white. But since the green is out completely, I have no more green. I'm going to use Big Twist Value. This is from Joann's. Okay. In this sky blue color. Ooh, yes, I was right. Sky blue. Yeah, I thought the sky blue would work really well. Well, definitely really well with the white, with the soft white. Absolutely. On the other end of the blanket, as the opposite end from the green, I think they work really well together. So I've got 2 ongoing projects. Another spider stitch. I am using a smaller hook this time. I'm using an H, which is a 5mm. Oh, matches my shirt. I love it when things like that happen. So there we go. I have 2 projects that I am working on while I go through my project pile and do videos for you guys. So there we go. I just wanted to come in and give you guys an update on how things are going. And that I am still actively crocheting and working on other things when I'm not doing videos and when I'm not reading books. Okay, I have a question for you. It was put to me that maybe we could do a crochet along with the spider stitch. I think it's a really good idea. We did a crochet along months and months and months ago when I was working with leftovers from my Karen cakes. Which that blanket is still my favorite blanket of all time. It is still up on my bed and I'm using it every night. So I think doing a crochet along with the spider stitch is a really good idea. My question is, do you guys want to do it in the color blocks like I'm doing, like white, green, or would you want to do it in multiple colors, variegated colors? Do you want to change colors every row and make it rainbow? Let me know down in the comments below. Any thoughts or ideas? I mean, it'll be weeks or months before I can probably get to it, but I think it's a really good idea because I truly enjoy the spider stitch. I have a lot of fun with it. So that's my question. Let me know down in the comments below. And to everybody who's new here, to everybody who's old here, thank you guys so much for being here, for helping me through this journey of trying to work through some childhood trauma, which is it's the cause of my holding on to everything. And the kind words, the encouragement. I appreciate each and every single one of you. And I love you guys so very much. So that is it for today's video. I will catch you on Sunday when we do another spider stitch blanket. Because I got to work on a border for that one. I think that's the one blanket I'm going to put a border on. Okay, I will catch you guys then. Bye.